My name is Michaela Wellman. I'm the Sea Turtle Volunteer Coordinator here at Mass Audubon.
Hi, my name's Sammy Shavs. I'm a turtle research technician at Wellfleet Bay Wildlife Sanctuary.
My name is Jeanette Kerr, and I'm the coordinator for communications and marketing at Mass Audubon's Cape Cod region.
Massachusetts has a vast and diverse list of species which call our waters home, from the famous cod to the even more famous great white shark. But one group nobody seems to talk about are sea turtles. Roughly 5 species call our lands and waters home and play an important role in our ecosystem. But with winter months upon us, these turtles are at risk. Mass Audubon, a non-profit organization which protects nature and its many species, are the first to respond to this threat.
Audubon we're actually Mass Audubon, and we're an independent Audubon organization. We were founded in 1896 by 2 women, interestingly, well before women had the right to vote. But these 2 women in Boston were very concerned about market hunting for shorebirds and wading birds whose feathers were used for women's hats and other fashion. And these birds are being slaughtered left and right for this industry. So they organized friends, any contacts they had, and they built the first Audubon in Massachusetts. And we remain independent. There is a national Audubon, but they are national and we're not connected to them. Our mission is to protect important outdoor lands, spaces, habitats for wildlife and for people. We are also very interested currently in expanding access to nature for everybody, for people who haven't always had it right out our door, as we do on Cape Cod. But even some parts of Cape Cod don't have it right out their door. So we want to bring more parks and more green space into more developed and urban areas. But in the meantime, where there's critical habitat and woodlands, grasslands, sensitive habitat, Mass Audubon is always looking to protect that, especially where it's connected to other land that can serve as a corridor for wildlife. The other big program that is based in Wellfleet is the Coldstone Sea Turtle Rescue Program, and that's been going on for 40 years, and it really began back in the early 80s with the discovery every fall of sea turtles on the beach, and they were lethargic and unresponsive. Ultimately, they were revived after they were treated at the New England Aquarium. And then since then, every fall, the numbers have just been increasing and increasing. And in this year, we have over 700 Coldstone turtles that have stranded and have been rescued or recovered. So this is something that probably is related to climate change, and that waters are warming, especially the waters in the Gulf of Maine, which includes Cape Cod Bay. And so these turtles are coming up from southern areas and foraging through the summer. And then as they get the cues to head south for the winter, a number of them get caught in the bay. It's a hook. You know, the landmass of the Cape is like a hook. And so turtles get trapped there. And that's a program that involves a couple of hundred of volunteers and a staff of at least 5 people. And we try to rescue and recover every turtle that we can. Turtles that we can't save, the turtles that die, they're found dead when they come in, are necropsied. And that's important because that supports a lot of science that's going on around sea turtle biology and ecology, and understanding sort of areas of their life history that we don't know very much about. Obviously, the reason we were looking for all that information is to try to improve sea turtle conservation. So the dead turtles serve a very important function as well.
So the Coldstone season starts at the end of fall into the early winter here in Massachusetts. How this happens is the arm of the Cape, this unique landscape that we have, causes many sea turtles to strand during the fall and winter seasons. This happens because sea turtles are reptiles and they're not able to regulate their body temperature. And as a result, once the cold water begins to arrive into the Cape Cod Bay and temperatures start to drop below 55 degrees, these turtles unfortunately become debilitated. And as a result, they're unable to continue to swim or forage for food. and end up just stranding on the beaches in this sort of cold stun like state. It's almost like hypothermia, it's just a different type. So here at Wellfleet Bay Wildlife Sanctuary, we work with a number of staff members and volunteers to ensure that these turtles are being rescued as quickly as possible, and we provide them with full assessments and ultimately transport the live ones to the New England Aquarium or various other organizations around New England and also all around the country. When a turtle comes into our care, we first want to make sure that we take measurements and weights of the animal and note any obvious abnormalities or anything about the animal that might be important for any other organizations to know, especially if they are going on to rehab. From there, we do keep all of these animals in a very specific room that's 55 degrees to ensure that they're not warmed up too quickly, because if they are, this could result in their behavior and their ultimate care not progressing as quickly. So we do want to slowly warm them up over time, and we start that process here at our sanctuary at 55 degrees. And then if they are to move on to rehabilitation, that's where then they are brought up to higher temperatures. So in this 55-degree room, we ensure that we keep a quiet room, and we keep them isolated so that they're removed from any stressors that might cause them to become overactive or anything that might overexert their energy stores. Once we process an animal and receive those measurements and the weight, we'll then put it to the side. If we're not sure if it's still alive, we'll give it some time to sort of recover a little bit longer before giving a final assessment. And then after that, we'll make a determination from there. But we want to make sure that these animals are getting a thorough assessment. And on the other hand, if they are showing great signs of life, then we will prepare them for transport at the earliest transport we can get for them, which is typically later that day or the next morning, depending on what time they come in. So the Wellfleet Bay Wildlife Sanctuary deploys staff and volunteers during various high tides throughout the season, both in the fall and winter. This could mean that we have walkers out at sunrise to sunset. Even at 1 or 2 a.m. we have people walking the beaches where winds are most likely to push turtles in. So we follow the wind patterns and the strengths of the winds, especially during strong storms, and try to stage people so that they're in those areas and are walking the beaches, looking at the high tide line, looking in the rack line, looking all over the beach to see if turtles have washed up. And then from there, the staff and volunteers will call the hotline and have some of our team members go out and collect the animals to bring back to our facility in Wellfleet. From there, the animals are then assessed to see what condition they're in and determined if they can go out on the next transport to rehabilitation for further care.
Currently, we have, for the entire sanctuary, there are probably close to 300. I have a specific set of volunteers for the sea turtles, and that's about 215. And there are overlap with the sea turtle specific team and other volunteer opportunities at the entire sanctuary.
Although reassuring that someone is working to help save a valuable part of our ecosystem, it's still a problem. Many turtles still die, even despite the best efforts of Mass Audubon and all other conservation efforts across the country. Each volunteer helps to save more and more every day. Every person helps. All it takes is one more person to make a difference.